Hello everyone out in Cable Land, and welcome to our broadcast about the upcoming Abington Celebrates Flag Day Founders Day event, which will be held on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, June 7th, 8th, and 9th this year. We've assembled a crew here in studio tonight to talk about the various aspects of the three-day event and bring you more information about it and hopefully get you excited to participate in this year's events. I'm joined here at the table by other members of the committee. We're not all here tonight, but we have Michelle Christian, Ken Coyle, myself, Doug Ulwick, and also Christy Coombs. And we'll talk about the members in the audience as we chat with them about the different events that are coming. We have out already our Flag Day Founders Day brochures. You can find these at various places around town. We gave them out at elections. I see one up on the monitor right now, so I know Justin is sharing it as well. But these are available as your guide to the events. It's kind of funny, we started giving them out during the election and offering people that, here, would you like a Founders Day brochure? And until we said the word fireworks, they weren't interested. As soon as we said fireworks, oh yeah, I want one of those. So that was an interesting aspect of it. Something we haven't discussed publicly before, which we're going to tonight, is some of the public safety aspects of this. It was kind of a background issue until we introduced fireworks, and then it became a big deal. And when we decided to, I went and met with three particular town officials about the whole event, and one of them was Chief Dave Majensky, who's joining us here tonight. Welcome, David.
Thank you.
Good to see you here. Anyway, what we talked about initially, and I think it was a real salient point about what Abington Celebrates does, is that this is a hometown event as opposed to the old Night Before the 4th event that everyone remembers fondly, but the issues were very different, were they not?
Oh, they absolutely were. And first of all, thanks to the committee for putting this together. I know you take a lot of time. Everybody here, and I know not everybody is here right now, but you put a lot of time and effort into this. This is what makes Abington, Abington, and it really is people like you, you all, that make it a great place. It really is. But with that said, no, you're 100% right. That this isn't the fireworks before, which were almost, at one point, they were almost a victim of their own success. It became too big. It became, almost just more of an issue than a celebration as far as public safety goes. We just had a hard time trying to make sure that we had a good celebration and kept everybody, all the residents. We also got to keep in mind that we're also, doing calls for service. We're making sure that the people that are participating and the residents in town are all safe. So it's good stuff, and certainly it's a smaller, and we like it that way. I think there was about 1,000 to 2,000 people, I think, last year, if I estimated, which great crowd, family atmosphere, and a lot of the aspects that were before of the event, meaning carnivals and stuff like that, aren't part of this celebration, which is a good plus. So it really is. It reminds me of growing up in Abington when we were kids. And you'd go down to the field and run around and watch the fireworks. It's that simple. I mean, just a simple, fun event.
Hometown event.
Really, hometown event.
Which is what we're always after. Last year, of course, was the first year we did fireworks. Anything that you particularly wanted to address from your experience that night that we need to be aware of this year, or anything that we need to keep in mind moving forward? Thank
you, Doug. And as you know, we have the police department, the fire department, we work very, very closely together. I know the police department, there's a 17, 18-page operational order just for this event. I mean, people don't realize what goes on behind.
Right.
And then we also do a report, and I think I shared it with you at the end of the year. We do, any issues that we might have, and we'll discuss all those kind of things offline. But I would just ask people to, keep in mind it's a family event, and get there early if you can. That was one of the issues that we had, was at the end that we were a little bit worried about, is you get that right before the fireworks, that big crowd of people coming in, driving in. We try to restrict it as much as we can. And we worry about pedestrian safety. We worry about people, all coming in at the same time, the last minute, trying to watch the show.
And it's dark by then.
And it's dark.
Yeah.
So if they can get in a little bit earlier, that would be wonderful. Bring your blanket, and enjoy yourself. Certainly just have a good time, good family event.
One of the changes we made this year in an attempt to get people there sooner is actually we moved the road race, and we'll talk about the timing of that, but we did move the road race from a morning event to a 5:30 kickoff, starting from Memorial Field and ending at Memorial Field. And we're opening the gates at Memorial Field for the family events at 5 o'clock. So we've really integrated it and hoping to get more people there earlier to stay there as opposed to coming in all at once at the end.
Absolutely.
So we're hoping that will help with that.
I
certainly think it will. The road race is also going to, I think, only involve one brief road closure, and that would be Central Street, perhaps. Bob Manning, you're sitting right next to him. We're going to need to worry about that for the fishing derby as well.
We are, and
maybe he needs to grab the microphone.
We are, and the chief, thank you, Doug. We are, and the chief has already expressed an interest in supporting the safety of the children, so we will be cordoning off some porting of Central Street during the fishing event. So
okay.
Public safety and children's safety is the most important thing that day.
I think those are our only proposed road closures right now that I'm aware
Correct,
of.
that I'm aware of.
Okay, great. Okay, I want to also talk to Chief Nuttall about, again, last year was a big deal because we had fireworks, and that involves your department from the beginning to the end, from the planning to the cleanup and everything else. We're dealing with the same company we dealt with last year. Now, I want the townspeople to understand, because you and I have had this discussion, there's only one place in town where one can light off fireworks. Am I correct?
That's correct, and that was the first thing I was going to discuss tonight after again,
Thank you
for inviting us here, is please, all residents, leave the fireworks to the licensed professionals. I'm probably the least popular person in my neighborhood around the 4th of July for obvious reasons, but we've just seen so many incidents and very serious injuries from fireworks. They're prevalent. They're all over New England, not Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an Abington law. That is a Commonwealth law from the state fire marshal. And they're just so dangerous. The quality control of making these fireworks, I think they're a lot more powerful than people may remember. From what we've seen some horrific injuries in Abington over the last several years from fireworks. People trying to do their own fireworks, as well as fires. We've had some. So again, the night before the 4th, the Abington Celebrates event, that's ingrained in my mind forever growing up.
For all of us, don't worry about it.
This is a licensed company that comes in. There is a lot of work that goes behind the scenes with making sure that they're set up properly. They're licensed. They're licensed by the Commonwealth. They're licensed by the state fire marshal. They have a permit from the state fire marshal as well as the Abington Fire Department. And we actually just received the packet from them late last week. So we're already beginning working with them for this event to make sure that what shells they have, the height of the shells, the number of the shells, what to do should anything not go off as planned, and they do have a contingent with that, and that happens all the time. We want to make sure that that's safe. They're in the location where we allow the shells to be fired from. That has to be certified by the state fire marshal, and we have in the past. There's a main reason we keep that area where the fireworks are in this town, because it's 3/4 of around that area there's natural barriers, and it's easier for the fire and the police to keep the public away from there. Because the moment the fireworks themselves arrive in town, we have a fire detail with them until the last shell is been confirmed to be fired away. So rain events, as we've discussed in the past, can become very expensive because that means we have to keep that detail 24 hours longer than we anticipated. These companies are very good. They watch the weather very well, and they want to avoid that as well for a number of reasons. So the company you've chosen, we've worked with them in the past. They have a good track record. We have a good level of comfort working with them for everybody's safety. Last year, there were a few kind of low shells, if you will, that we have addressed with them just to make sure that the height is correct. Fortunately, we're kind of out of the drought as,
So it
as we all
seems.
know. However, we still have to make sure that, you know, they're a safe height for everybody. So,
Well, actually, higher will also increase the visibility from a greater area in town. I know a lot
Correct.
of people watch them from the Island Grove Park area, and the reflections in the water are beautiful, but in order to pull that off as well. And you guys are also on alert the entire weekend for emergency services, because I know we have kept you up to date with what's happening where and who's running it, because you've got to stay on top of that too.
correct. This is a great weekend for everybody in town, but it's a busy weekend for public safety, both for police and fire. We have to be able to get from point A to point B. The police work very well with us. If there's any closures or even just the traffic issues as they become, we communicate and we monitor their radios, so, you know, they give us a good idea what's going on in town.
Right.
But we have to be able to get the apparatus, whether it's an ambulance or an engine, or the equipment that we have from point A to point B, which may not even involve the fireworks event itself. We're still
Right.
gonna have regular emergencies, medical emergencies, fire alarms, fires, motor vehicle accidents that occur as we do every day.
No matter what we do, exactly.
Correct. So this just creates quite a bit more of a challenge, but
Mm.
we've worked with it. We also have a large plan with this. We incorporate this into a training event for our senior officers.
Oh,
Each
nice.
year I have one of them basically run the event to spread that knowledge out. It's a planned incident, it's a planned event,
Okay.
which helps, and we still plan for it, but we take advantage of that as well. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that the
Mhm.
public and the residents, they don't really have to know, but we're definitely doing it. Again, we have to be able to access if we have a runner in the woods, if we have shells that go off in the woods low. In the past, sometimes that happens, so, you know, we have contingency plans for that, as well as backfilling the fire stations with additional personnel. As you know, we tend to run light in town on a daily basis, and we rely heavily on the off-duty help to come supplement our on-duty crews should something happen.
Mhm.
Well, during these events, the way the traffic is, that's not likely, so we have to kind of pre-plan for that.
Right.
And we've done a good job with it. We've actually learned from this after doing it over the years, especially since 2013, which I think was the first time we've done this in a long time. And in the last couple of years, we've got our plan down fairly well, too.
Good.
As well as our mutual aid partners, the other towns. We're not able to provide mutual aid during this event, and they're aware of that, so, you know, that changes our county responses as well, as they are also aware that we have this event. We
Sure.
borrow some resources from, that are available from the county to assist us running around in town as needed.
Mhm.
You know, it's a great event. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, as I said, so
Perfect.
we're comfortable with it.
And quick shout out also to the firefighters union, because they are one of our sustaining contributors to funding the fireworks. This is their second year contributing, and I know they've committed to at least 3. So I mean, not only are they working the event, they're also financially supporting it, which is quite wonderful, and we appreciate it. We weren't able to have John Stone here tonight. He's kind of the third part of this triumvirate of public services offered by the town to make all this work. They help with the road closures, they set out cones for the runners, they handle trash, they handle whatever. And I was very proud last year. I don't know how much was DPW and how much was good old hometown pride, but I was probably the last to leave the field after the fireworks, and I didn't see a single piece of litter on the entire field. So I thought, that's a hometown event. I like that. I like it when it happens that way. Okay, that's kind of an overview, I think, of the public safety aspects of it. Now I'd like to begin to talk more about the specific things that are happening during the entire time. We have something new this year to start off. We're starting off with a golf tournament, and we have Rick to talk about it. Would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Sure. My name is Rick Collins. I'm a member of the Abington Youth Soccer Board of Directors, and this is our second annual golf tournament. It's a fundraiser to help support some of the programs we do through the through the soccer league. We give out scholarships, for instance, to Abington seniors. We also have financial assistance for families who may need it, so their kids can play
Nice.
in the leagues. And we had a great start last year to our tournament. This year, we thought if there was a way we could blend it into the Founders Day events, it would make a lot of sense. People are in town, and they may want to kick off their weekend by coming down and playing some golf. We're going to have a tournament Friday morning. Shotgun start at 8 a.m. at Ritter Country Club in, if it's East Bridgewater or Whitman. It is East Bridgewater.
Right.
And anyone who's played at Ritter knows it's a great course. It's a fun course. It's an easy course.
Speak for yourself.
Relatively speaking.
Okay.
And it promises to be a great event, and we think it's a great way to kick off the Founders Day weekend.
Absolutely, and welcome as one of our new participants in the weekend. It sounds like it's going to be a great time, and it's 125 per person and 500 for a foursome. Is that still correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great. And that includes lunch and door prizes. And also, we're very pleased to see that you're doing a 50-50 raffle to benefit the fireworks.
Yes, with the allowing us to attach ourselves to your weekend, we figured the least we can do is also contribute back in some way.
Appreciate all the
Thank you.
support. It's a wonderful thing. Excellent. Okay, and then...
Is there a
Oh.
Facebook page or a website people can visit to? It's not listed here.
That's a great question.
There is one.
Abington Youth Soccer does have a Facebook page. You can provide your information through there if you'd like to get more information, and we'll get back to you immediately.
And we'll try to put it on our, Abington Celebrates page too.
That'd be great.
We can do a link by all means, but that should be a fun way to start that Friday morning. Excellent. And from then we're moving later in the day to something that we've been doing from the start, and that's the kick-off cookout. Try saying that 3 times fast, please. At United Church of Christ from 5 to 8 p.m. We have Ken Coburn in the audience tonight, and I know you're involved in this one 100% and then some. And I wondered if you'd like to speak to it a bit.
Yep, absolutely, sir. Thank you.
Sir, please.
On behalf of Reverend Christy Coburn and the members of the United Church of Christ, as you know, there wouldn't be a town unless there was a church first.
They were the first.
We're 307 years into it now, that the town had to have a church before it become officially a town. And we celebrated that several years ago back with a parade. And that's when we started this event where we are offering free dinner for anybody in town, especially after the golf tournament. Anybody that wants to come over for dinner. We have burgers and hot dogs, beans, salad, and we've got some games for the kids. DJ will be available.
Oh, great.
We've got some raffles, and our thrift shop will also be open.
I hope so.
For the community. So, a lot to do between 5 and 8 p.m. on Friday evening.
Excellent, excellent. It's a fun event. I have made it there every year you've done it. And are you doing the history exhibit again this year too?
We will be doing history exhibit
Excellent.
also. I think you're in charge of that.
No, that's a Bob Valancourt
No,
thing.
Bob Valancourt.
I usually show up and we argue. But no,
He's
kidding.
our church historian, and yes, he has some of your old items that he'll have on display there.
Perfect, absolutely. That's a great thing. I like working with him. He really is into the history of the church. And it was the foundation of the town, actually, when you come right. We had a church before we had a town, so that's cool.
It's a very low-key event too. And it's
Family
increased.
again.
It's another family event.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the kids really enjoy the DJ that's available.
They go crazy with it.
We've got Steve Santola will be available, and he's
Music
a
in
local
motion.
team,
Yeah.
and the kids have a good time.
Great, excellent. And if you'll pass the mic to Judy O'Brien's sitting next to you there. We are also, again, welcoming back our Civil War encampment at Island Grove. We're making it a bigger event this year because we're actually financially sponsoring it to a degree, which I understand brings more people in. Is that, there's a distinction there, right?
There is. First off, thank you very much for inviting us.
Oops.
All right. is that
One
better?
works better than the other, apparently.
All right. First off, thank you very much for inviting us back again. Our first event.
Our pleasure.
Our first event we came to was the 300th, and the group. Actually, I represent 2 groups. One is the Massachusetts 22nd, which is a reenactment group of the military side. And then I'm also a member of the United States Sanitary Commission, which is the civilian side. And because they were both that worked together back in the Civil War, and we do work on the 5-year period of the years of the Civil War. So this actually for that weekend will be 1869 for us.
Okay.
64. I'm sorry. 64.
Now, the encampment begins
So-
actually setting up.
We will have some units that will be, or some members that will be coming in Friday night.
Okay.
And setting up. I know we've had people in the past that have been a little confused by that because they feel that they can come and see an encampment already in progress.
But you're just setting up.
They're setting up, yeah. It's a lot of work. These people in our unit some of them come from quite a distance. And so some of them are taking time off from work to get in there early enough. And then some of them will come in on Saturday morning. So the Friday night, if anybody does choose to come in, more than welcome to come in and say hello, but you actually won't see the living history and encampment until Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday will be a full-day event, and we're basically there living as they did back during the Civil War.
Perfect.
You'll see cooking, and you'll see people walking around doing the different duties that they would do. There's, hospital duties, because, of course, there were so many injuries and disease and infections during the war.
Sure.
So we have members that really study up. They really spend a lot of time studying so that they can be authentic. That's something that we really pride ourselves on.
Down to and including cooking at cook fires
The
and everything
cook
else.
fires, yeah.
And, and we get permits from that from the fire department, by
Yes,
the way.
and thank you very much to the fire department for
we
helping
get-
us with that.
We get water fire extinguishers loaned to us by Lions from Rockland, and we're always grateful
And
for
we
that.
thank them for that,
We
too.
hide those, but they're there.
Yes, actually, yes, we're one of the units that really takes the time to make sure that when you walk through camp, it looks like it did
Right.
back in the day. We make sure that things are out of sight. Of course, we do have to bring food and coolers and things, but they're hidden. And so I do ask, actually, for the public to please not go through the picnic baskets. We've had, or
Picnic
some of the
basket.
barrels that are there, because people will find our personal belongings,
please no.
such as food. And, of course, we do have to keep that on ice. And, and again, we thank for ice too. So we're very grateful to have this opportunity and for all the support that we get.
Perfect. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Go.
Are there going to be horses this year?
Will there be
Will
horses?
there be horses?
We actually have a group that will be there. So we'll be the blue and the gray. And yeah, and the cavalry does have horses, of course, unless there is some really dangerous situation weather-wise, because the safety of their horses is important.
Oh, yeah.
That's exciting.
So, as long as we don't have any major weather or something coming along, then, yeah, they're planning on being there.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to come back to you in a bit because there's something going on later that day, but I actually wanted to turn back to the table here because another change we're doing this year is we're doing an open house at the Senior Center with the Lions Club doing a pancake breakfast. And Ken, could you talk about that for a bit?
Absolutely, I can. In the past, our pancake breakfast has been at the Legion. And actually, I probably didn't tell them we're not having it this year, but I probably should at some point. You'll see it on TV.
Yeah.
But the Friends of the Abington Seniors approached some of our members about having an open house there. So we said, well, why don't we have it at the Senior Center? We'll have the pancake breakfast there. The Friends of the Abington Seniors are going to have a table and just information and possibly give tours of the Senior Center. And then while we were at it, we had the groundbreaking this weekend of the new dog park. So we asked the dog park committee to come in, and they'll be there to show plans for the site and how the progress has been coming. And then I figured while we're there already, I approached the pickleball people,
Oh, fun.
and they're going to give some demos during the day. I think starting at 10:30 on, they're going to give some demos. I will tell you that if you're going to want to get on the pickleball court, you do have to wear sneakers. So. But I've never played pickleball, and I guess I'm at that age now where I'm allowed to. So I'm kind of excited to. I don't like pickles, but
What is that age group where one is allowed to?
What, 52, I think?
I don't know.
do I look 52? Perfect. Yeah, 52 is perfect.
Okay. I could play.
Thank you. So the Lions Pancake Breakfast is from 8:30 to 11. We have family pricing, as everything for this weekend is geared to the family, but the most a family would pay is $25, and we have discounts. Children's $6. It's all you can eat breakfast, and I promise not to do all the cooking. I'll have my brother, the chef, do some of the cooking there too. But we'll have pancakes and chocolate chip pancakes, scrambled eggs, sausage, toast, juice, coffee, tea, and the proceeds go to the benefit Lions Club charities. This is an event that's starting to build up some momentum too. So it's all you can eat, $8. Family pricing, $25. So hope you can join us, and we'll make more information available about because there may even be some entertainment up there, some music. I'm not sure if this is still in the works or not, but I've heard there might be some entertainment up there at the senior center to help you digest your meal.
I know the Abington Town Choir and the Island Grove Chorus have been talking about being there,
exactly.
and it would be great if they could participate as well.
But we'll have an exact schedule of the times everybody will be there as it gets closer.
Perfect. We don't want anyone to miss anything. So that's cool. That's happening to kind of kick off the morning, probably while the Civil War folks are still setting up.
Well, hopefully they can troop down and have a breakfast.
That would be fun.
We'll give you some some prices from back in the 1850s.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'll dress up for that
Some
one
hot-
in
and some hot-
uniform
and some-
myself.
Some hardtack. So.
Hardtack. They have to supply that themselves, I think. Okay, and close, actually not even close on the heels of that, overlapping that, we have the Kids Fishing Derby from 10 to 1. And we have Bob Manning in the audience. Thank you for all you do for the town. And tell us about what's going on this year with the Kids Fishing Derby.
Thank you very much, and once again, I thank you for the opportunity of sponsoring the Children's Fishing Derby for the town of Abington. This is our third year. Our first year we thought was quite successful with 44 or 45 children. Last year we had close to 80, which was pretty cool, and every child caught at least one fish.
How did that happen?
Because we stocked the pond heavily.
There you
the day
go.
before, and I
Right,
fish
yeah,
in that
sure.
pond very weekly for a week. So it's open to all children ages 6 to 14. Parent presence is required for those children fishing. A prize will be awarded for each age group for the longest fish caught that is measured. The participants must supply their own rod and reel. Parents may fish alongside their children, but should bring their fishing license if they choose to do so. I will supply, again, bobbers, hooks, and bait. The sign-up period will start at 9:30 in the morning. You'll see our tents set up. As I said to you earlier, thank you to the Abington Police Department. They're going to provide security to make sure the children will be safe on the street during this period of time, which will be a total from 10 to 2.
And this is on Central
On
Street?
Central Street.
So the
we'll
north
have it
end of the
closed
pond.
down,
Okay.
so the children don't have to worry about it. So that's a real peace saver, and I appreciate Chief for doing that. So I was worrying about yellow taping the street somehow. I didn't know how I was going to do it. We're going to start awards around 1:30. I do need volunteers with fishing experience to help the children set up their fishing equipment and to help measure the fishes that get caught. We will be serving hot dogs once again. Thank you to the Lions Club for supplying the fabulous hot dog mobile that gets high quality points on election day just for serving hot dogs. And they had burgers this year, so I want to thank them for that. The Abington Lions do supply that. Free water will be on hand during the tournament. There may be some other snacks there. We're not quite sure yet. This year's sponsors, which is Daddy Mac Lures owners, Dennis McDonald and Jack Hulton, and I will also be a sponsor for that event this year also.
Thank you.
I just want to point out once again, if you're 15 years or older, Massachusetts law does require you to have a fishing license. I'm not saying anyone over the age of 15 can't come. I just would suggest strongly that you bring your fishing license with you when you come fishing. We've had very good luck with the weather. I'm hoping that, without saying that, we're not going to jinx it, but it's been really 2 wonderful years of sponsoring this and having the children catch a lot of fish.
Fantastic. Excellent. It's a great town activity, and actually it's something that the police department used to do, is it not? It wasn't? Okay, once upon a time.
Yeah, we did it, Doug, for about 15 years, 12, 15 years. Yeah,
And we missed it when it was gone, so Bob Manning jumped in.
Bob brought it
and-
back and then some, so.
fantastic.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
I know last year you mentioned that because you had so many kids, you might allow them to fish off the bridge. Is that a plan, or you may scrap that, or?
No, I'm not going to deny any child from fishing anywhere they want. I'm actually going to supply a gallon paint liner buckets. For anyone who wants to fish off the bridge, they can fill water up and put the fish in that gallon bucket to bring it over to get it measured. I don't think we're going to have measurers over there. That's going to be the problem. Most of the children will be along
Central Street.
Central Street, so But if anyone wants to fish off the bridge, they're welcome to do so. We had 2 children bring over the fish all the way around on a hook and measure it. And I want to say both fish went back alive in the pond. So
That's pretty
but
amazing.
I thought of that this year, so I am going to get paint ladder buckets to help the children bring the live fish around, so they can just put the fish in the water and bring them around, and we can measure them and put them back live again. We only lost 2 fish last year through everything, so
Wow.
we caught well over 141 fish during the day. So
But how many fish did you really catch?
I caught none. So
No, but weren't there only like 10 fish and you just kept catching them over and over again?
stop giving away all my secrets. These fish work with me, all right? Come on.
Some of them were frozen.
They thawed out during the day, David. Thank you very much.
Well, Bob, I was gonna say that certainly, if you wanna do the buckets, we can have the quad and then have a trailer on the back of the quad. I'll have the officer go around and we can go around and
See, once again, Abington comes together and makes this a better event for each other. So
That's a piece of cake.
that's a great work. That'll be a great work.
Except now every kid's gonna want to ride on the quad.
So, the fish, no, the fish get
Fish
to
ride
ride.
on the quad. Oh, the fish get to ride in the quad.
This is Fish Express, okay?
Really? This is gonna be fun. I can tell
It's getting
already.
better every year. I have to say.
We're having fun with it. It hasn't even started yet. Excellent. Well, again, this continues to be successful. It continues to grow. So I hope you're ready, because everything seems to be growing, which is kind of cool. I noticed next to you, Chris Schultz has joined us, and we talked a little bit about what's going on at Island Grove. But in addition to the Civil War encampment, we also have Boy Scouts camping out at Island Grove for the perhaps 3rd year in a row. Is that right?
I believe we've been doing it since the tricentennial.
Okay.
So yeah, Boy Scouts will be out there. We'll have an actual live encampment. Not as exciting as the Civil War encampment.
Well, their uniforms are better.
Yes, they are. But we'll be there during the day on Saturday. If I have the right adults with me, we'll probably be doing some Dutch oven cooking. We welcome the public to come and find out what Boy Scouts is all about and see what we usually do on our camping trips.
Okay, and will there be demonstrations of skills and other scouting type things, or
That's the thought.
that's the thought?
We'll see
Okay,
how that
we'll start
goes.
with that.
That's planned. I believe we are also going to have an information booth out for our new venturing crew,
Oh, good.
which is for for boys and girls 14 to 21 that are interested in the
That
scouting program.
was new this year, was it not?
Yes, yeah, we
Okay.
just formed.
Okay.
Different shirt. I didn't wear that tonight.
Can only do so much.
Right.
Excellent. Well, that's exciting.
Is that Friday night and Saturday night?
We'll be setting up camp Friday night, and then we'll be there all day Saturday and breaking down on Sunday.
I'm looking for someone to cook Saturday morning the pancakes, so if they want to earn a merit badge, could you bring them down to the senior center and they cook pancakes? Does that work?
Get some out of my hair, sure.
Do they need special training for that?
He's on the Board of Health, so...
Good point. I was missing the obvious here. As is someone on the venturing crew, as I recall, too, right? Okay.
correct.
Yes. Now that Aaron is on, Aaron Christian's also on it, and he is allied with the venturing crew.
Yes, he's the president of the crew.
Well, that's certainly allied with it then, isn't it? Okay. Good. And is it? In the past, I know you've had other groups come in other than just Abington. Is there any thought of that, or too early to say?
Too early. We put the word out to the other troops from Old Abington. Whether or not they make it, I'm not sure, but we'll definitely be
Okay.
there.
I think Rockland was there last year. Is that right?
Rockland was, yeah. We've been trying to get Whitman, but they have a busy month.
Yeah, they have other things going on.
They do.
Good. But it's fun to, again, when possible, bring the old town together back again for events like that, to remind them that we were together once upon a time until the 1870s. Speaking of which, also going on at the Grove, there is a guided history tour, actually in 2 parts, 10 to noon, which will be run by Eileen Walls, and we'll meet at the Lake Street side of Memorial Bridge, and then I'm going to jump in and do it from 1 to 3. Last year we had tried to do multiple tours within those time frames, and it just doesn't work. It just takes too long. So it's going to be 1 tour in the morning from 10 to noon and 1 in the afternoon from 1 to 3, sponsored by the Historical Society of Old Abington. Island Grove is huge in island history and has always been involved in it from the start. I mean, Island Grove is there because it was Jacob Nash's mill pond, and he used it to mill the wood for the very first church in town. So It goes back about as far as Abington goes back, and obviously was huge in the Civil War as well. Dyer Memorial Library is also doing an open house from 1 to 3, and they'll have special exhibits about local history. That is worth a walkthrough, certainly.
Now, when you do the tour of Island Grove, do you show them where the Fandango used to be?
Well, we're not 100% sure exactly where the Fandango used to be, and there are those who are still arguing what the Fandango was. So
But don't tell them.
there's
We
that.
want them to come, so you can tell
Good
them.
point. Good point. Yes, yes. We will try to set all the rumors to rest about the Indian graveyards.
But there are gravestones up there.
Not Indian, but
No,
yes, there are
yes,
indeed.
Yeah.
Island
They're hard to
Grove-
find, but they're there.
Island Grove was indeed a graveyard, for what part of it was at least, and we do point those out as part of the tour. So
A lot of history up there.
there really is, and Abington pays a lot of attention to that Island Grove history and honors it in many ways, so that's kind of cool. And we'll be talking about necessary work on the bridge, which the studies are going to be starting soon for that. Still focusing on the campground, getting later in the day, we begin to overlap with some things that are happening over at Memorial Field, but there's a candlelight tour of the encampment, Judy, and also the band Shades of Grey are being once again sponsored by the Abington Summer Concerts Committee. Just if you could kind of elaborate a little bit, I know you break for dinner at some point, but then after
Yeah.
dinner, it's full on again.
Right. During the evening, it's a totally different view of camp. During the day, you're going to see the soldiers. They'll be marching or doing their different duties that they have. You'll see the civilians taking on the different roles they have, whether it's laundry or, the hospital care or whatever cooking is needing to be done. We do close for camp, or we do close camp during dinner. That's just so that we can have a little bit of a break. But we actually, just so that everybody knows, we have authentic food. The food that we have, when we have long table, we put them together and we sit and we enjoy each other's company. So once that is done, then we will be reopened again. And we will have the fires going. Will be going during the day too, but you actually get to see the glow of the campground at night with the campfires, and we have lanterns. It's so peaceful. It's so beautiful. And we have camped in a lot of different places, but I'll tell you, Island Grove brings you really back. It really, it
feels real.
Step back in history, in time. It's something that every one of the members say every single year. It's just not the same. We do encampments in school parking lots or, in a big field or something. But when you're in Island Grove, it really is magical. And I really encourage everybody to come and see what it looks like at night. We also have the Shades of Grey, which is a band that plays authentic Civil War music. They are amazing, and the members travel like a long distance. Some of the members come a couple hours to come. They just love being at Island Grove. They find it just as magical as we do. And they'll be playing from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. There are a few benches there, but really, if you want to come, which I highly suggest that you do, bring a chair so that you can be comfortable. Although they love it when people get up and tap their feet and dance, and bring the kids. It's amazing. The kids absolutely love dancing to this music. It's just a magical time, and so I hope to see everybody there.
Absolutely.
I saw that group for the first time last year, and they were very good. I actually thought it was going to be a Grateful Dead tribute band because Shades of Grey was their big hit. But I wasn't disappointed. They were very good. So.
They were indeed. I was a little concerned last year because this was our first year doing fireworks, and the fireworks are the same night as the candlelight tour of the encampment and Shades of Grey and such. But enough Abingtonians, again, it's a hometown audience, they understood that you can actually see the fireworks from Island Grove. And from my understanding, it actually increased the crowd in order to have people who were there to do both.
You don't get stuck in traffic leaving either.
No, it's a little further removed from all of that. And so it worked out. I mean, I was afraid it would hurt the attendance at the encampment, and it did not, apparently.
No, we had a good-sized crowd.
And I wasn't at the bridge for the fireworks, but I saw some incredible photographs taken from the bridge.
Yeah.
That was
I'm going
nice.
to make one other suggestion also is for people to bring a flashlight.
Okay.
So that whether they're crossing over the bridge or whether they're coming in from Park Street or whatever, that they, get into the campground safely.
Sure. Okay. Excellent. Something else that has changed for this year is the road race, which used to be in the morning, is now going to start at Memorial Field, where we open the gates for all the events that are happening there out behind the Frollo at 5 o'clock. But we're kicking off the Founders Day 5K at 5:30. And Christy, I was wondering if you could tell us more about that.
Sure. So this is the second or third year we've done the 5K. And it's open to everyone. We do have very many medal categories. The entry fee for adults is $25. The student fee is $15, and under 12 is $5. And we also will have a free kids run to kick it off at about 5:15. So the route will be the same relatively as last year. I don't know exactly the route, but you'll run through the cemetery and down Park Street, and it's actually on our website, on our Facebook page. But it's a great course. It's a pretty course as you run through the cemetery and through the woods. So we encourage all runners and wannabe runners to come out and join us. Walkers as well. We'll have water and some snacks there for you to give you the energy that you need to run that 3 miles. You can register at racewire.com, and that's an online registration, or you can register at the event. So that's a little something that way back when we did the night before the 4th, they did a 5K then to kick off the evening. And last year we had it in the morning, and we decided this year to make it part of the whole evening festivities to try to get a bigger draw. So we hope a lot of you will come out and join us for that 5K.
Thank you. And we did actually have to adjust the route a little bit, and I was concerned when we had talked about changing the time of it and having it start when people were arriving and having people at Memorial Field. We used to run on Washington Street. We did last year, run on Washington Street, and the DPW had laid out cones so that we could create a running lane. People park on Washington Street for the event. We couldn't do that anymore. So now they're going through the cemetery and down Central Street. Actually, Justin had put up the map. There it is again. Thank you. So we're going through the cemetery, going by the police station, going all the way down Park Avenue to Center Ave, running along the sidewalk there to Lake Street, and this time we'll cross across the bridge and up the stairs through the arch. And I know Judy said that they're going to be breaking for the Civil War encampment folk are going to be breaking for dinner around 5, but I am so hoping we get a few of them out there to shoot off a couple of volleys as the first runners come through. I think it would be a great way to greet them. And then they retrace their steps back to the Frollo and end in front of the bleachers to thunderous applause, I'm sure.
And
so
let me just say,
yes.
Andy Burbine is
Yeah.
helping to organize the 5K. He wasn't able to be here tonight. He's one of our committee members. We wanted to give a shout out to him.
Absolutely. And Al Donaghy and friends are doing the timing this
Great.
year. I think Colonial were otherwise engaged, but Al said, I'll do it anyway. So that was really good of
Can I
him
just
to
add
do
a couple
that.
things about that too?
Please.
I heard a lot of comments after last year about how beautiful the course is.
Mm.
You're running through Island Grove, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really
Yeah.
a nice, very picturesque. And the other thing too is now, I don't know from experience, but I've heard that runners, they kind of work up a sweat and get thirsty. So my understanding is that they've arranged so that, this is a good segue into the next bit, is that every runner is going to get a voucher for a free beer after the race.
Every runner of age.
Of age. I think we
Glad
better
you added
specify.
that.
Yes, really.
Anyway, they will be carded anyways.
We,
but,
we don't want to get the Legion in trouble here.
but I just wanted to add that because that was a nice gesture by the Legion.
We have the
and-
police here,
Yes,
so.
exactly, so.
Excellent. That is a nice way to do it. So I'm looking forward to this change. I like the notion that there'll be a crowd there to welcome them when they come back. And I like this change. We have a couple of water stations I think they're going to be set up along the route as well. Okay, 5 o'clock is the kickoff actually on Saturday at Memorial Field to open the gates and start all the activities. There's quite a list of them, and I think maybe between Michelle and Ken we can talk about what's going on, and I'm going to want to also jump to Ken Coburn here too, but let's start with you guys.
And actually, Christy as well, for that matter. I'm sorry, because you're also, we have games organized by the
Right.
Coombs Memorial Foundation and the Jeremy Russell Foundation, Memorial Fund rather, and the Danny Vesalian Memorial Fund. Let's start with that.
Okay.
What can we expect this year?
So, as Doug just said, the Sergeant Daniel Vasilian Memorial Fund, the Jeremy Russell Memorial Fund, and the Jeff Coombs Memorial Foundation are once again banding together to provide activities for the families and for the kids free of charge. One thing we like to do is we're always having our hands out asking for you to donate to our organizations to help us do the good work that we do. So this is another way that we can give back to the town and to you to give you something fun without you having to dip too deep into your pockets. So we'll have a couple of bounce houses that we'll be renting, and a number of children's games that we also rent. We'll have some goofy prizes and things like that. And just a lot of fun going on for the families. So if you want to come down and watch the road race and get your seat early for the fireworks, there'll be things going on for you to do and for your kids to participate in. So they won't be sitting there saying, "Mommy, I'm bored, can I go buy some more food?" We do want them to do that as well, but we don't want them to be bored. So between what's going on at Island Grove and between all the activities going on at Memorial Field, there's plenty to do, and we're looking forward to providing them with a lot of fun to give them a memorable night before the fireworks.
Fantastic. And to augment that, we also have the Summer Concerts Committee is sponsoring both the DJ for Music in Motion, Steve Santola, from 5 to 7, primarily aimed for the younger crowd. And also, we had a great success last year, or certainly with Rewind, the live band, who'll be playing from 7 to 9 as well. And we appreciate all that the Abington Summer Concerts Committee does for us. Yes, I mean, it's been pulled together by Nancy Reed and Jan Prowl, who handled it last year and do so quite well for us. So it's a great addition to the evening, and everyone loves the live music. So that was a hit last year, and we're doing it again. Actually, they booked Rewind last year as they were finishing their set. They booked them for this year.
There's an Abington native in the band too.
Absolutely.
Murray.
Yeah, so that's cool. Joe Murray, right? Isn't he?
Right.
Yeah, okay, cool. And also, part of the food and the beer and the wine are being served at the Legion. And I want Ken Coburn to maybe tell us what they'll be serving and what they'll be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing we want to say is it is a family event, as Chief Majensky has alluded to. We're not going to tolerate any public drunkenness. We do not want people there for the wrong reason. If you want to come up and have an adult beverage as an adult, we're going to have tip certified staff available. We will have a section area sectioned off in the back for the Legion. It will be roped off. We'll have somebody checking IDs going in, making sure that nobody's getting in underage, and we'll be checking IDs at the bar. We're just serving beer and wine. If you want a mixed drink, you're able to go into the post itself, and there'll be a bartender on duty in there. But I think the most important thing is this is a family event. It's not a time to go out and get drunk.
Overly imbibe, yeah.
Overly indulge in so we don't want to push that.
And
we'll also
and
have
the beverages have to stay in that area.
They have to stay in that area. The drinks cannot leave the area. So yes, Ken, we expect people to not eat there, but at least just drink your beverage in that sectioned off area, and then you can leave and go back to your family. And if we find anybody trying to get out, we'll be working closely with the police department to make sure we get everybody in control. But we also are going to have food available. We're going to have hamburgers and hot dogs with chips available. They'll be serving in that area. And again, we just encourage the public to enjoy themselves and come out and have a great time.
Great. It's also not a bad area to view the fireworks from either.
No, it's a great area.
You're up a little higher on the hill there, so almost like being in the bleachers, but not quite. That's great, and we thoroughly appreciate the participation. We couldn't do that aspect of it without you folks, and it, I think, adds a lot to the evening, so that's kind of cool. Ken, you've been helping organize a lot of the other groups that will be there selling food and the charities and such, and can you maybe tell us a little more about that?
Absolutely. I bought the young lady, she's called the Pretzel Girl. She's not a contortionist. What she does is she sells homemade
Okay.
homemade gourmet pretzels, and they are out of this world. So she's going to be there. She's from Cohasset or Situate or Duxbury, that area, but we found her, and she does a great job. But I just received word last night that if you don't like waiting in the long lines at the Sarcastic Swine, they are going to have the tent set up there.
Wow.
So that's
They've
pretty
opened to
exciting
some
news.
pretty rave reviews
They
here in
have,
town,
so
haven't
they're
they?
going to be down there.
Okay.
They needed a big tent, but they're going to be there serving their food, which is out of this world. Obviously, any of these events would not be complete without the Lions Club Strawberry Shortcake,
Oh, yeah.
which is world famous, or at least
Abington famous.
Murphy Field famous.
There you go.
Cream will be there again. There were long lines at Cream last year, so Cream will be there selling their delicious ice cream. Christy Coombs will be there in the snack shack, I believe, pizza and other assorted.
Right.
And we don't have a definitive yet, but Abington Youth Football may be there also, alongside Christy selling some food there too. Other people that are going to be there, I'm trying not to have duplications, so that being said, if anybody still wants to come down to the field to sell, to publicize, please let me know, and I'm sure we'll have room for you. But the Abington Republican Town Committee will be selling glow sticks that evening. The Abington Substance Abuse Committee will be providing information and selling, either selling or supplying water and snacks. Abington Park and Rec are going to have some kids' activities, so along with the Baptist Church, we'll have some kid-friendly and free events. I was contacted by Coasters and Castles Travel Agency. They specialize in Disney cruises and Disney trips. They'd like to be there with some kids giveaways and some information. So if you want to, I'm probably missing some things too. A 50-50 raffle table, which went very well last year.
Went very
and
well.
Very well. And
Yeah.
actually, one of our members won it and donated the whole money back. So that was a very nice of Jan
Huge.
to do.
Yes.
But if you'd like to help out, if you'd like to have a table, please contact any more member of this board, and I'm sure we can fit you in. So I think that
You can
covers-
also send us an email at abingtoncelebrates@gmail.com.
And I actually forgot the Rotary. Last year they sold coffee and treats. I believe they're coming again. And the dog park, this was one of their best events last year, so they'll be there selling candy. So
Perfect. Perfect.
definitely a town-wide,
And
family-friendly event.
And we really encourage it. I mean, we certainly, our sponsors participate whenever possible, but also just any town organization or town business, we would be happy to see you there. It's what makes it a hometown
We actually
event.
forgot Vinny the Bubble Guy too is going to come down.
That's
and
true.
provide a
I'm
free
sorry.
hour of bubble.
Yeah.
I guess he's
He's from 6:30 to 7:30, so
Yeah.
I think he participates perhaps in the kids' night for at the bandstand concerts in the summer. So yes.
But if you've got a youth group or a church group that would like to come down, and there are a lot of things we didn't talk about. That, someone wants to sell popcorn or cotton candy or a dunk tank. Please come on down. You can make some money and publicize your event.
I think the scouts are coming as well.
Yeah, that's right. They're going
The
to
venturing crew, or
provide some demos, I think, on scouting. So
Excellent. Okay. And of course, the big event of the evening at 9:30, we'll have the lights shut off, and Atlas Pyro Vision Entertainment Group will once again be regaling us with a fireworks display.
we have enough money this year. We're going to be able to do it. You think?
Well, we're going to talk about that more.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
I'm going to kind of end with that
Okay,
part
all
of
right,
it, I
sorry.
think, more than anything else.
Didn't mean to ruin your thunder.
That's,
Get it?
oh,
Fireworks?
God. Yeah, that was
All right, go ahead.
bad, but thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they put on an amazing show last year. We had specified, actually, Jan Prowl handled a lot of the negotiations and everything with Atlas, and said, I don't want something that's start and stop and start and stop, and I just want continuous fireworks, and boy, did we get them. I've had people come up to me and say the best display I've ever seen, which may have been. I mean, outside of Boston, I think we do one hell of a job with that, and happy to have them back again. This is something where we have to go out to bid every year, I should point out. We are a town group, and we can't just hand it to someone. They have to competitively bid on supplying the fireworks for us. And they won the bid again this year, and we were happy because they did such a good job last year.
I think one good thing to note
Please.
is that we have a lot of people saying, why aren't we doing this around July 4th?
Oh, good point.
And by having it in June, which helps celebrate Abington's Founders Day, we are able to save a whole lot of money and put on a much better show. So that's one major advantage. And there are a lot of fireworks going on around July 4th. So this is Abington's own celebration to celebrate Abington, and it's a nice way to kind of close out the big celebration of the weekend, even though there's more things going on Sunday.
We're also able to have a rain
Right.
date with that because when you do
Right.
4th of July,
Yeah.
you can't have a rain date.
That's the other
Right.
aspect, yeah, because it's not near the 4th of July, we also do get a rain date,
Right,
which
so
would
there
be
are-
Sunday, by the way.
There are a lot of logistical and financial reasons to
Mm.
have it earlier, and so we just want people to understand that's why we don't do it July 4th. And it's all, the main reason is because we want to celebrate Abington on Abington's Founder's Day weekend.
Entirely appropriate, and it's been working out quite well, so we're going to keep doing it. And it doesn't end with fireworks. On Sunday morning, we started doing something a couple of years ago, and that was inviting the firefighters in for memorial service at the flag pole at Island Grove out on the point at 10 a.m. Chief, did you want to say perhaps something about that?
Sure, thank you. And this is in conjunction with the Firefighters Memorial Sunday, which is really a union event, the Abington Firefighters Local 208. They sponsor that, and I spoke with them today just to make sure I had my facts straight with that.
Good.
And that's worked hand in hand with this entire weekend. And again, we thank you for allowing the fire department to have the memorial service at the Island Grove. We used to do it at the fire station. We simply outgrown it. It just, the road was getting too loud. It was actually getting dangerous. Nobody could hear a thing out front
Yeah.
with the traffic going on, those that have gone to it. So this worked out well. It begins, the firefighters and their families, the retirees, and the union gives out some scholarship awards to, their scholarship fund. That begins at 8:15 at the Abington Senior Center. It's somewhat of a private event. The service at the Grove is public. That's at 10 o'clock. So we'll begin at 8:15 at the Senior Center. The fire department families in having a breakfast. That's been sponsored the last couple of years, I think, from the Old Town Cafe on North Ave, working with the firefighters union on that. And then once they finish up with that breakfast and those services, handing out the scholarships, then we move to the Island Grove. It's much quieter in usually Christy Coombs and Christy Coburn. I apologize. End up doing the service there, which is it's perfect. It's peaceful. You get flagpole, and that's become quite a good event. This is the third year I think they've done that.
Yes.
And again, we want to thank you for that.
Excellent. And let's actually talk to Ken about that as well, because the Legion's very much involved in this event too.
Absolutely. All the veterans organizations in town, the Old Town VFW Post, Post 2, Richard Fitz chapter, and the American Legion will also be there in support. We have been ever since it started way back when. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. Actually, we had a minor disaster over the winter and once again lost a line on the flagpole, so we need to fix that before this particular weekend comes up, so we have a flag to raise. I don't know how many in the audience have noticed, it's not up right now at Island Grove because of that, but we'll get that done, and we'll be working with the DPW, so we will have a flag to raise that morning. That's followed pretty much immediately by a church service at Island Grove, again sponsored by United Church of Christ in Abington, Abington's First Church. And Ken, are you deputized to talk about this for your wife, the minister? Or?
The Holy Reverend Mother allowed me to speak tonight. So,
I like the title. Is that
I
on a
say
business card somewhere?
The pastor's wife is allowed to speak. Yes, I got permission tonight. Yes, as always, we reach out. We try to do community events and get church outside the big white building.
Absolutely.
As Christy says, we get out in the community, get involved with people. So we're inviting anybody that's interested to come and join us after the Firefighter Memorial to worship with us, and be a quick hour, and you're out of there. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Perfect. It sounds great. And I'm there every year, and it's always a wonderful place to worship and enjoy communing with nature at Island Grove out on the point. There's always a breeze there. It's one of the reasons I think why they always had the abolitionist meetings there when they wore all these wool clothes and had to somehow stay cooler in the summer. There's always a breeze at Island Grove. So that was amazing. We've also listed another event that afternoon at United Church of Christ to the students of Katie Beckvold, who's a well-known singer from Abington, one of Abington's finest, is doing a music recital at 3 o'clock at the church, my understanding is, with a suggested donation to the church. So that should be kind of a nice change of pace to end the weekend for us, for all of that. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our sponsors. When we started doing fireworks last year, we chose a funding model that was a little different from what other communities have done and the way things have been done in the past. We actually went out and actively searched for sponsors among the business community, among the fraternal organizations, among the charities in town. And we're looking to pay an $11,000 fireworks bill. We have other related expenses, but we want to make this sustainable, and we want to pay for the event through the donations of the businesses. To date, we have 12 on our list, starting with Timber Lanes, who've been with us from the start and have been phenomenally generous each year. They actually gave us 3 years worth of funding right up front last year for our first year, and they are a sustaining member. Abington Bank, we did a little publicity shot when we received a check from them. I mentioned earlier the Abington Firefighters Local 2080 are also sustaining members. Last year, the Anderson Foundation had donated to us. This year, Anderson Insulation has donated to us, and we're very grateful for that. We have on board now the Friends of Abington Seniors as sustaining supporters. The Abington Lions Club have donated. The South Shore Bank has donated. We have a new sustaining member, and that is Truckee Supermarket. They're with us for this year and then 2 more after that. Slattery Insurance is new to us this year, as is Trufant Real Estate. And also Abington Children's Dentistry is someone new to us. At this point, I did the math, and I think we were maybe at $8,500. Is that right?
I think we're close to $8,500.
About $8,500 that we have collected to date to fund the fireworks. Now, we're doing the fireworks, but the goal here is to make it sustainable. And in order to do that, we have to be able to, without doing the other stuff we do, cookbooks and t-shirts and whatever, we need to have the funding on board. So I reach out to anyone within the sound of my voice. If you want to continue to have fireworks in Abington, the way to make it happen is to donate to Abington Celebrates. And the way you do that, since the town is our banker and our treasurer, is you can write a check to the town of Abington, and in the memo line, write fireworks and send it to the town of Abington at Town Hall, 500 Glenowitz Way, and donations are tax deductible. So we welcome your support, we welcome your participation, and we look forward to doing this again and again and again with the help of everyone in our studio audience and those who aren't in our studio audience who make it all happen. And what am I forgetting?
Our Abington Celebrates newsletter.
Absolutely.
We have a monthly newsletter. Our Facebook page has 1,300 followers, which is great.
Nice.
Our monthly newsletter, you can subscribe on Facebook. Right now we have about 350 subscribers. Facebook, tends to get a little busy, so the monthly newsletter is nice. It's kind of one quick snapshot of everything that's going on. So if you want to join that, the link will be on Facebook, and then if you don't have Facebook, you can always email abingtoncelebrates@gmail.com.
Now that's through constant
contact. Yes.
That's what I thought. That's what the schools use as well.
That's
isn't
what the
it?
schools use. Yes.
And we also try to take advantage of their link as well to the community, and,
Yes.
and they've been very
Yeah,
cooperative
they've been
with
great.
us for that. I think it's a good thing. So okay.
Talk about, I might have missed it, I might have went to sleep in the beginning, but
I doubt it.
three weekends a year,
Oh,
Abington celebrates?
what Abington
Just a quick-
Celebrates
just a quickly-
does. That's a good thing to do. Yes, Abington Celebrates initially started with Flag Day, Founders Day, and we've grown to do 3 events a year. Flag Day, Founders Day is typically the second weekend in June. First weekend is high school graduation. Third is Father's Day. We do the second weekend. And it also puts it close to June 10th, which is Founder's Day specifically. Then in October, we do Oktoberfest, and I'm going to blame Christy for that. That was your idea. But a good one, and we've done very well with it. We
It's the only chance I get to wear my lederhosen, so it works
uh,
out perfect.
let's not go there, but yeah, okay. That's probably true, and I won't talk if you want to wear it other times. It's fine with me, but anyway, we typically have been doing that the weekend after Columbus Day weekend. This year we're doing it on Columbus Day weekend just because it was getting too late. So we've moved it up a little bit. So Columbus Day weekend this year, plan on joining us for Oktoberfest. And then the last event of the year for us is the lighting of the town Christmas tree at Island Grove. It has been a start and stop thing in terms of growth every year. The first year was huge, the second year not so much. It was pretty big again this past year. I think part of it was because we had a horse-drawn wagon going around the Grove, and everyone wanted to ride on that and experience that. And I think it was very successful, and we had good weather, and everything went well. We had our second year of a Christmas tree falling over. We're working on it. We're getting better at it. No one got hurt. We're doing okay. But
And it doesn't fall till after it's been lit.
absolutely.
For about a week.
Yeah, we've gotten a week out of it. The second year it stayed up just fine, but the first year and the third year not so much. And I mentioned the winds at Island Grove are just ridiculous. So we used elevator quality guy wires, but the bolts failed this year. So every year we learn, and every year we do it. And I've been told I need to select a smaller tree. We'll see. I'm not sure about that. But
I think you may want
maybe
to.
should.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. We are also always looking for Christmas trees. And this past year, I literally went and knocked on someone's door and said, "May we have your tree?" And to my amazement, they said, "Sure." That's currently how we're getting Christmas trees. So if you have one in your yard that you're done with, that you'd like to donate, we'd like to hear about it. But that's far off. That's December, and we're only at the end of April, so we have time. Anyway, so I think that's it for tonight. I want to thank all of our, I almost want to say studio audience, but all of our guests. You all had a lot to contribute, and we appreciate all you do to make this event happen and all you do around the town in general. And I think Justin perhaps has a bit of a slideshow of pictures from last year's events to share with the audience as we fade out. And again, thank you all for being here. We appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.